I am afraid for my life, and I'm afraid for my children's life.
You're watching another episode of the Final Takeaways Podcast edition. We're happy to have you. Lola Doll is alive but remains hospitalized and in recovery following a brazen attempt on her life 2 weeks ago. She's a victim of a brutal crime. The question is, who will protect her now? And who will fight for her and with her in the corrupt law enforcement system that blatantly ignores violence against women? This story goes deeper than Lola Doll. It's about women who are targeted by the men who despise them. And about crimes against women, brutal crimes against women, where justice is never served. As for the men held in connection with the attempted homicide of the social media influencer, they have been released on bail and are back in the streets. They include Wayne Barker, also known as Wani, whom Lola Doll identified as the gunman or the triggerman.
I saw the person that tried to take my life. Yes, I saw him. He's a guy by the name of Wani. Wani, don't know if y'all know, he was the person that watched him in the eyes.
Even though the men accused of the crime have not been tried or convicted, Lola remains an active target. Her life is at high risk. This marks one of the reasons a section of the Guyanese public was outraged upon learning that the police let these men go. Even though law and justice have to take their course, there remains a real chance the perpetrator and or masterminds could try and finish the job, if you know what I mean, especially since Lola testified that she saw who pulled the trigger. Her loved ones could also become targets. Speaking from the hospital this week, Lola, whose real name is Lolita Calendar, says she's so afraid for her life and the life of her loved ones. So much so, her children are not attending school at the moment.
I am afraid for my life, and I'm afraid for my children's life. I don't mean he was sending me children to school no more. I mean he was sending them to school no more. I ain't going nowhere. They're going to be with me all the time until justice is served.
After all, at least one of the men accused in this case, Wayne Barker, is also linked to the kidnapping and disappearance of a man named Joshua David. Barker is also said to be an associate of Paul Daby Jr., also known as Randell, the prime suspect in Lola Doll's case. Daby's name has been linked to alleged crimes including drug trafficking and connected illegal activities. He also remains under U.S. sanctions for narco trafficking. What's more is that Lola, speaking in a recent video, which was live streamed on social media, named Paul Daby and others in the crime involving Joshua David, going as far as to say David is no longer alive as a result of the kidnapping, which was captured on surveillance cameras back in October 2024. Now, let's try to understand this case from a more personal and empathetic point of view. Imagine this being you or someone you love. Can you begin to understand? Can you begin to fathom the impact of this crime? Not only on you, not only on Lola, but her loved ones, her kids. Regardless of what you think of this popular, raunchy social media star who is loved by many and equally despised by others, one thing remains a fact. She's still a human. What I'm trying to say is this. If you lack sympathy or empathy for this woman or what happened to her, such as Jennifer Ali, if you lack basic human care, then this podcast isn't for you. So skip this video and any plans to leave any unkind comments below the video, which may end with getting blacklisted from this channel. We removed someone as recently as this morning, okay, for unkind comments towards and about Lola Doll and this attempted homicide case. Now that we have that squared away, if you are a humanitarian or you're following this case because you are deeply interested in true crime cases like this one, then let's get down to the latest update in this case. As I've said, Lola is getting better, which is on the bright side of things, but she reported this week that she is fearful for her life. We're going to highlight some key facts that translate to Lola Doll's life still being in real and present danger. Next, we'll talk about the law, how it's impacting the case so far, and what needs to be done, not only from a legal standpoint, but by the public and humanitarian people like yourself to help this family heal and stay safe. You can also check out the 4 videos we did covering the story from when it happened to now. These are the problem areas we want to talk about. And it's where the story becomes legally and socially complicated. In many legal systems, including Guyana's, suspects can be granted bail after initial detention, even for attempted homicide. But with a charge of such a violent crime, and the accused is high profile or alleged to have resources or links to high profile political or public officials, it leaves the public to ask, does bail mean the victim and witnesses are left vulnerable? Bail is a legal mechanism intended to balance the presumption of innocence with the need to secure a suspect's attendance at court. In practice, police keep a suspect detained for an initial period, usually 72 hours in Guyana, based on constitutional requirements on the protection of the rights of the individual. The police does this while they gather evidence. After that, magistrates can grant bail with conditions, and we understand that these individuals were released on station bail. But here's why this feels unsafe for victims like Lola Doll. When a suspect in a violent crime is released on bail, especially if they're alleged to have targeted the victim intentionally, it can create ongoing fear. Victims may worry about retaliatory violence, intimidation of witnesses, or new threats to family members. That fear is compounded if the suspect has known influence, resources, or connections. In Lola Doll's situation, critics say the bail decision sends the wrong message. It risks leaving a hospitalized survivor and her loved ones exposed. Here's the deal. Surviving a near-fatal attack like this one leaves layers of damage beyond the physical wounds. Survivors face long medical recoveries, surgeries, rehabilitation, psychological trauma, and the life that follows can be defined by pervasive fear. For Lola, who is a public figure and whose daily life includes being online, making in-person appearances, and connecting with fans, the risks multiply. Perpetrators who act publicly or target public figures increase the chance of copycat incidents. Loved ones, siblings, parents, partners can also become targets, either to send a message or to punish the survivor. What victims like Lola need are secure housing, witness protection options, restraining orders, privacy controls, psychological support, and even financial support due to a loss of income stemming from the crime. Other issues include social media harassment or misinformation about the incident, which can backfire on the victim. Here are some concrete measures that can reduce immediate risks to Lola Doll and her family. Some are legal, some are logistical, some are community-based. Yes, it takes a village to protect women who are victims of violence. The first thing is enhanced police protection and reporting conditions. Lola may request an immediate documented police protection detail and also short-term guarded transport to and from the hospital and her home. Her attorney, her lawyer, can help ensure the strict bail reporting conditions for the accused men are enforced by the police. She can also take out a no-contract or protection orders and request that the police have the accused surrender their travel documents to prevent them from fleeing the country. And FYI, none of this is legal advice. None of this is expert advice. I'm coming to you as a podcaster, as a social commenter. This is commentary. This is us showing empathy towards the situation involving Lola Doll. And of course, one might say, well, what about the other women that were victims of violence in Guyana? Well, we just came on board. Just give us some time, wait and see what we're about. We are going to be focusing on true crime in Guyana. But let's continue. Another option is to secure no contact or restraining orders, which can be issued against the accused to prohibit them from approaching the victim's family members, including minors. Lola Doll says she is keeping her kids at home for now. She can also consider homeschooling. Now let's examine what else Lola needs for her safety. For one, a safe location. Her home, her surroundings, her village, her community where she lives is no longer a safe place. She needs a safe, secure location and safe, secure routines for her and her close family members with only and only trusted people around. Even around the clock, 24/7, 48/14, trained bodyguard can become a part of her security detail. Lola, if you're listening, note these things. Note the need to lock down personal social media accounts, change passwords, and limit public posts about your medical status or your location. According to you, you are fearful for your life. You believe you remain in danger. So, these are steps that one can take to remain safe. As for the police, they need to have safety systems in place to protect the evidence and protect witnesses. So far, Lola Doll seems to be the main or the star witness for the prosecution. Considering that Lola is a social media personality and local singer and entertainer, she can have a trusted spokesperson to manage public communications. This will help reduce speculation and dangerous attention. Advocacy group can also play a key role in ensuring her safety and protection by calling on the police and justice systems for a thorough investigation and fair judicial outcomes. Of course, none of these are magic remedies, but combined, they can reduce risks and give Lola Doll and her family the breathing room they need to heal and to see the case through the courts. Turning attention to the media and reporting, journalists and the public also have a responsibility. That responsibility extends to reporting accurately, to respect medical privacy, and not to circulate unverified videos or footage that can re-traumatize the victim, which is Lola Doll in this case, or compromise the investigation. The arrest of a hospital worker for sharing a very private video of Lola Doll underscores how harmful and unlawful such exposure can be. If you made it this far, thank you for being a true trooper, and let me know in the comment section that you were here all the way to the end. If you have some extra time, check out our playlist, or you can stay tuned for what's coming up next.